I'm Jacci Pillar. Welcome to Talk-ist, where we get to all the pointy bits. We're coming to you from the Wurundjeri country of the Kulin Nation, and today we have the awesome Vanessa with us from ANU Science Alliance. And Vanessa, you did what?
Don't know that I did anything. I was just gathering a bunch of non-neurotypical people, and we were doing some excellent science. Didn't know that we were accidentally taking on big science. We were just doing our thing, very excellent science, and big science was being very entertaining, and we didn't know that we were crossing paths. Sorry, everyone, stepping on toes.
Fancy that, neurodiverse people stepping on toes. I'm actually really excited that you're here because, I've got my my science glasses on so that I look like I'm being a bit, nerdy. My very first career was in science, technology, engineering and maths, as we like to call it, STEM. And I was one of the first assigned female at birth avionics technicians working on F-111s. And so, I've always been analytical and visual, and it's just so exciting. So can you tell us a bit about Science Alliance, which I think I've just been inducted to?
You belong to us now, Jackie. No escape, one of us. So we're a bunch of people with disabilities, and we're for people with disabilities. We focus on science, but we do a lot of other fun things as well. And it's just encouraging people who might be neurodiverse and good at science at the same time, or even have an interest in science. They just didn't get a chance. They might already work in science, or they might work in different fields, but they're just not, they're not feeling it. They're not feeling the love. And they're not feeling the progress either. So what will we do? We will band together. We'll look after each other. We can see what we do. Sometimes we just sit together in a dark corner and cry. Better to do that in a group than alone.
Definitely. And I'm imagining that leads on to really having a good cry and a good laugh at the same time. Yeah, building that solidarity in the space.
Yeah.
And it's interesting you say about excellent and good science, and I often say that if you're born assigned female at birth and disabled, then you have twice as good to be considered half as good. The classic thing that happened to me once in the comedy world, it was say, I love what you're doing with women's comedy. And I just went, you love what I'm doing with comedy? And then they went, but it has to be good. And it's really interesting because intersectional curation talks about the perception. It's a bit on the nose, isn't it? It's like the perception that everybody has to be a virtuoso in order to make it. And it's just so unfair because it's often a perception of how neurodiverse people engage. So how have you found that with Science Alliance?
Look, it tracks the same way. And as well as being neurodiverse and female, I am guilty of being brown in public all the time. I just have never stopped that. So what's expected when we go out into the world and do some science is that either it'll be very cute and a little bit tokenistic. Oh, bless. The neurodiverse are doing, oh, bless, it'll be cute. Will there be bubbles? No. Unless they are awesome smoke bubbles made out of carbon dioxide. There will be no bubbles. On the other hand, when they do see our work and they say, well, this is really thorough and this is excellent work, they presume we have Rain Man syndrome. We are just experts in one field, and the other part of our lives we're walking around looking like Tom Cruise.
I do call that the Rain Man phenomenon. We're either expected to run very fast like Forrest Gump or count cards. So we have some cool footage of Sam. Can you tell me a little bit about Sam and then we'll cut to the footage?
Sam joined Science Alliance just as someone who thought he might be good at science but wasn't too sure. It turns out he was excellent. Sam is now Science Alliance's photographer because he does, like all neurodiverse people, see things differently, see things beautifully, and sometimes he can capture technical things very nicely. He's nonverbal by choice, but that's okay because his competence, I can feel his competence. I can understand him. We can understand each other, and you can almost feel and smell the thought waves coming off him. And I can rely on him, whether he's looking at me or talking to me or not. And I think in this this clip we're going to see, it's got a lot of dry ice in it, and so the danger is pretty high risk. But
Yep.
Sam's fine. He's always been good with high risk stuff. He's extremely competent. So we're also going to put on our welder's gloves. Yeah. Because safety first. We're going to be handling not hot stuff, but cold stuff. We're going to be handling dry ice. Sam and I are going to capture some of this dry ice in a bubble. Look at that. Already very Halloween. Thank you very much. Now, Sam's got his glove on. He's going to capture the dry ice smoke. The dry ice has sublimated into smoke. And there it comes out the other end. I'm going to put that in our detergent mix to make smoke bubbles. Beautiful. Wow! They're even lovely when they break, aren't they? So there we have it.
That is a really cool video. Vanessa, can you tell me a little bit about what it means for you to watch Sam doing this and what it means for science? What does it mean for the perception of young people in your program?
Often when you see someone who's not making eye contact, who seems to be looking somewhere else, like you can see that Sam's doing that in the video, it seems that he's not only not engaged, but certainly not competent. Whereas having experienced my work with Sam, he's extremely competent. He doesn't make eye contact because he's taking in all of the information all of the time. And you can pretty much see it when I start to move. I'm talking to camera and I'm ignoring Sam. Sam is getting his own safety gear, putting it on when he sees that I'm making a move towards the dry ice. And it's actually Sam that's doing the dangerous work there. He is getting hold of the dry ice as it sublimates. And I'm quite happy for him to do that because I know he can do that competently. What I find is that people need eye contact as an indication that you're listening or that you're paying attention. And I don't find that to be necessary. You'll also see that after he puts his glove on, Sam offers me a fist bump and I bump that fist. And that's social competence as well, that people often think that neurodiverse people don't have. Well, we are.
Yeah.
You might not be listening, that's all.
Totally. And I've tried to pitch that a little bit as, we might not be looking at you, but we are listening through our body in other ways and through our actions as actual listening. We don't need to look you in the eyes to let you know we're listening. And I actually don't know quite how that works, really. I didn't think we heard through our eyes.
Oh, look, we don't really hear through our eyes, but we don't really see through our eyes either, do we? We all sort of see through our mind, and Sam's mind is clearly right on the money from the good and safe science that he was doing. Also the fist bump. Love the fist bump.
Love the fist pump. And on that note, we're going to thank you so much, Vanessa de Kauwe from ANU Science Alliance, for being on Talk-ist. You did what?